Welcome back. Now, from Robert Baden-Powell to Bear Grylls, the post of Chief Scout has been held by some very prestigious names since the movement began. That was in 1920.
There's a new one to add to the list, the adventurer Dwayne Fields, who was the first black Briton to reach the North Pole. Our correspondent Sophie Long hasn't gone that far. She's at a scout park in North London. I can get my words out. Hi, Sophie. I see you've got,
Hello.
what is that called? What's the thing called around your neck?
I believe it's called a scarf. But you'll notice I no longer have a woggle. I have been invested since you last saw me. There's a hard recruitment drive here for adult volunteers. But yeah, no woggle because they drop off. And now you just have a knot and it's tied for someone else because it's a friendship knot. How lovely is that? There's a lot of good spirit here because, of course, they are celebrating the appointment of their new Chief Scout. His name is Dwayne Fields, as you say, known to many people already. He's over there. He's a very busy man this morning, very much in demand because everyone wants to hear from him and what his mission is going to be. Well, I was lucky enough to sit down by the campfire with him a little earlier this morning.
I remember the moment I was asked, I felt this sense of emotions just building up because I know what Scout's done for me. And, you know, I've seen the benefits of Scouting for so many young people, and I thought, well, it's great that I can now give something more back.
Yeah, just tell us about what Scouting meant to you then, because you actually came to Britain, when you were 6?
Yeah, that's
from
right.
Jamaica, and straight into the Scouts?
No, in fact, I came to Britain when I was 6, just like you said, and initially it was a pretty tricky time for me because I struggled to make friends. I struggled to fit into life here in the UK. And it was only when I first walked through the doors of that Scout group, not far from here, that I found somewhere that I belonged, or somewhere that I felt comfortable, or somewhere that I could push myself and, you know, grow my confidence. I felt like I was 10 feet tall when I went in, when I came out. And when I went in, I remember I was this shy, scared little kid. I was so scared, in fact, that I hid behind my friend's mum when the Scout leader came out and said, you know, you're a new starter, come on in.
Well, that was Dwayne Fields speaking to me a little earlier. One of the things he's really going to concentrate on is recruiting new adult volunteers, because there's actually more than 100,000 people who want to become Scouts, but they can't because they haven't got the adults right. And Ayesha, you're a volunteer, and you're sort of helping that drive, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I mean, I've been in Scouts since I was 6 years old. I've grown up through the movement, and now I have the opportunity to volunteer, and it is so incredibly rewarding. But like you've said, we have 107,000 young people who are on waiting lists, and that is solely because we don't have the volunteers who can support them as we gain skills for life day in, day out. So I think what's brilliant about Dwayne is he's really, really pushing to try and drive more volunteering, particularly in those areas that haven't really accessed Scouting yet. I think that's a real passion of his, and I'm really hoping that he's successful in doing that.
So you're obviously very pleased that he's been appointed. And how are you going to go about helping him do that?
I think a lot of it is going to be about, I mean, of course, supporting him to make sure that he is able to reach into those communities that he so wants to. But I think also it's just about telling people that Dwayne, as a person, is an incredible role model. I mean, I've spoken to him a couple of times, and actually each time I've spoken to him, he's remembered things that I've told him previously, right? He's the kind of person who really takes the time to get to know people. He's a real role model for our young people and also for our volunteers. And he really exemplifies those Scout values that we talk about quite regularly. So I think just reminding him and reminding the people around him that he is exactly what we need our volunteers to be, that's what I'm going to try and do.
Lovely. Ayesha, thank you very much. We're at the paracording table here, right? And Evelyn and Matilda are here as well. Evelyn, what do you think about the new head scout? Chief Scout, sorry, Chief.
I think he's really lovely. He seems like genuinely interested in the trips that we've been on and, you know, how we've experienced Scouts. He was asking us just before, like, oh, what was your first memory in Scouting? Like, he seems to really want to get to know people.
And you mentioned trips there. Matilda, you do go on some pretty amazing trips, don't you? I didn't realise this about Scouting, but you're a Scout from South London, is that right?
North London.
North London, sorry. And yeah, tell us where you've been.
So last year I went to the World Scout Jamboree in South Korea. It happens every 4 years, so the year before I think it was in America, and next year will be Poland. It's where Scouts from all across the country, so 40,000 to 50,000 Scouts come in one place and just practice Scouting beliefs, practices, any Scouting thing really, and it was honestly the most amazing experience and the best experience of my life, and I'll never forget it.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much indeed, guys. I didn't realise that if you were a Scout, you got to go to South Korea and all over the world, and to learn skills like this, paracording, which apparently you're making ropes, right, that can take the weight of a human body. Yeah, get that. Back to you.
Very impressive stuff, Sophie. Thank you so much.